Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this Perth County Council meeting for Thursday, September 18th. I'm Warden Doug Kellum and officially call this meeting to order. Ask the clerk to note the starting time is 9 a.m. This time, please bow your heads for a moment of reflection. Thank you. We acknowledge that Perth County is situated on the traditional land of the Anishinaabe, who have a long-standing relationship with the land and water throughout the region. We honor and respect the history, languages, and culture of the diverse, Indigenous, Métis, and Inuit people who call this territory home. As a county, we have a responsibility for reconciliation and the continued stewardship of the land on which we live and work. Does anyone have any peculiar interest to declare? Seeing none, if it does so arise, please do so at that time. This morning, we have with us for the first time in person is Stefan Gilev. Welcome. He's the Executive Director of Legislative Corporate Services. Welcome from everyone. Do you have anything to say at this time?
Thank you, the Warden. Thank you very much to Council, to our CEO, Lori Wolf, and the organization for the opportunity. I look forward to working together for the betterment of our communities. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Again, welcome.
Thank you.
Moving on our agenda, the confirmation of the agenda. Are there any amendments to the agenda this morning? Go ahead.
Thank you. So through the Warden, we do have one. We're going to have an addition to item 14.1 closed session. And that's going to be a matter pertaining to identifiable individuals / information supplied in confidence. It'll be a verbal report.
Okay. Thank you, colleagues. Any other amendments to the agenda? Seeing none, the motion reads as follows. Item 14.1, closed session, a matter pertaining to identifiable individual information supplied in confidence verbal. But September 18th, 2025 agenda be approved as amended. Moved by Councillor Orr, second by Deputy Ward Tendreski. All those in favor? And that is carried. Item 6 on our agenda, the consent agenda. There are 21 items, I believe, on the agenda. Is there anything that any council wishes to pull for further discussion? Okay, seeing none, it reads as follows. That council receives the consent agenda items 6.1 to 6.21 and approves the September 4th, 2025 council minutes. Moved by Councillor McKenzie, second by Councillor McDermott. All those in favor? And that is carried. There are no public meetings, hearings, or delegations, so we'll move right into staff reports. Item 8, 8.1, planning services. I believe Nathan is joining us with this. Good morning and welcome, Nathan.
Thank you, Warden Kellum and members of Perth County Council. I do have a short presentation for you on this application. This is a plan of subdivision NP 2203. The owners are Bimania Dairy Limited on behalf of John Diamond, and the applicant and agent is Patterson Planning Consultants on behalf of Scott Patterson. And Scott is in attendance too as well, if there's any additional questions. The location is Concession 3, Part Lot 6, Alamo Ward, in the municipality of North Perth, and it is highlighted just on the screen there as well too, just showing the star. So it just is to the southwest of, sorry, of Listowel, just on the outskirts of town, a few kilometers away. Next slide, please. Oh, can I do the slide? Sorry. So this is for a small subdivision. It is 16 units with one additional roadway located through there, which would be Albert Street, connecting Patrick Street and George Street on the outskirts of Trowbridge. So 16 units, 8 on either side of them. The approximate area is 4.68 hectares. The area that's actually allocated for the houses is slightly smaller than that, approximately 3.5, 3.7 hectares in size. For Perth County's consideration, this is kind of just a process map that we give out to show where it is in the process. So it has gone to North Perth Council. It did receive support at that council a few weeks ago. This is now coming to a county council for consideration. It would have to go back to North Perth Council again one more time. There is a holding provision on the property. Currently, it's zoned Hamlet Village Residential with a holding provision on there that references back to a site plan agreement. So once the site plan agreement is signed, it should be supported, and that would be lifted at that time. And then subject to final clearance and conditions through the draft plan conditions as per regular. Just an area outlining the property. So it is connecting up to Patrick and George Street, just Patrick Street to the south there, George Street to the north. What would happen is there would be a slight extension of Patrick Street and George Street just up to the roadway, and then it would loop around. So it does provide for that fire connectivity access when looping. There would be that continuous maintenance through there. Very similar, almost identical to what's happening now, other than I think there's one double lot that's located on the Victoria Street that goes through there. So that's about the only difference, but there would be additional 16 units located on that outside edge. For supporting information, the applicants have supplied the following supporting information: planning justification report, archaeological report, functional servicing, stormwater report. That looks at the water and septic side of things. The geotechnical report, which looks at the geotechnical and hydrogeological, which looks at the water. And then, as mentioned, North Perth Council did support the application in August of 2025. Staff recommended 22 conditions be included. Just some highlights: is the standard subdivision condition. MBCA has provided some comments in there as well too. This is the one unique condition. There is an extension of a municipal drain required as part of this, as part of their stormwater management outlet. So the applicant is required to upgrade the stormwater management system at their cost to benefit the subdivision. So that would be their responsibility to upgrade and maintain that. They've filed the application to petition for that improvement. So they are going through that process currently for their stormwater outlet associated with the street. And then there is some fencing and demarcation requirement for the land also. And finally, a parkland dedication requirement also. There is no park space required until there would be cash in lieu of this application. A couple of pictures located from, I believe this is Patrick Street to the south, and then also George Street to the north. So there's a future crossing, culvert crossing. So they are looking to upgrade that small culvert that's located there. I don't know if you can quite see it, but it's just a little bit of a burn mark that are associated with that culvert area. So they will be looking at 20 or upsizing that. And then there is just some improvements required along George Street to the north, where it would be upgraded just halfway through and then turn and go in. So there would be just a halfway upgrade required. It wouldn't be the full thing. Just a couple other pictures as well too. Just for consideration, there would be future access proposed for that house that's up on the property. So currently that house is accessing through an unopened road allowance. So there is some potential for some improvement there. North Perth has considered that land exchange or that dedication of that land for those agents as well too. So that would provide an improved access for that area also. And then just a picture looking towards the west there at the end from Victoria, Patrick. Comments provided. BM Ross did provide comments on the final stormwater management report and subdivision. So they have looked it over. They do have comments. So the applicants would be required to submit a final stormwater management report and functional servicing report. Everidge, Hydro One, and Bell have all requested servicing easements as per typical conditions. No real comments or concerns provided from the neighbors. 2 comments from the neighbors did reach out, just requesting details on the reports and functionality. They just reached out for some of that information, but there hasn't been anything submitted as far as written correspondence or concerns raised. So for summary of policies, it does meet the Perth County of Perth and new County of Perth official plan. It does meet the zoning bylaw, save and except for the lifting the holding provision currently. Would be required to return back to North Perth Council for that lift of holding provision. And just for a note for council, lands have been included in the settlement area for Trowbridge historically as part of the official plan. So this was not part of the new official plan that brought, I'll say, additional development lands to there. So there was no allocation of any additional development lands because it's an unserviced area. So there's no additional lands being dedicated to Trowbridge because through the official plan process. So this has historically been allocated for this. Therefore, it is staff's recommendation that Perth County Council subdivision NP 2203 subject to the conditions listed in the report. I'm happy to address or answer any questions at this time.
Thank you, Nathan. Council, questions or comments for Nathan at this time? Councilor Wilhelm.
Thank you. I have 2 questions. I'm concerned about density. You're talking estate lots on private services. Has it ever been considered that a number of years ago, North Perth extended services to Atwood did they look at the possibility of extending services down to Trowbridge? It's about half the distance.
Through the warden, I'm not aware of them extending services or considering extended services down to Trowbridge. Trowbridge was never considered to be I'll say, allocated for development or growth. Atwood historically had some issues with, I'll say, some smaller lots on septic systems, and there was some concerns with that, as well as the upgrades for that with the Atwood servicing extension, which was done a number of years ago. I'm not I don't believe they're looking at extending services to Trowbridge. This is the finalization of the last subdivision in Trowbridge. I would put it that way a little bit right now. So there was not an allocation for growth that Atwood would have. So Atwood was allocated for growth. They had additional larger subdivisions considered to go through and into there as part of the official plan at the time. Trowbridge, this was the last one being considered. So there is a provision in the policies in the official plan that does speak to not putting a burden on the municipality for any kind of extensions of services. That might be considered a additional responsibility to service this. So there is a difference in size as well too between Trowbridge and Atwood, just from a community population size also.
Second question, so am I to understand that any area in Perth County that has village designation can go ahead with a subdivision with estate lots?
Through the warden, the preference is always to have it on full services. That's typically the direction in the policies, both in the official plan and the County of Perth policies. So it is typically asked to look at full services. That's the preferred option. The density for this is low, much lower than we'd expect in a full service community. We have full service requirement. This is 1/3 to half the density requirements that we typically see. So it's not a preferred option to see this type of development go. There is policies that provide for options for considering it when the appropriate times are right. So in this one, we considered it supportable because this is really the last subdivision in Trowbridge. We're not looking to grow Trowbridge further beyond maybe say a severance here and there. There's nothing being considered for future intensification, 100 homes, anything along that line. This is really the final rounding out of Trowbridge and really the completion of the community from that end.
You skirted my question. I was talking about all of Perth County. Does this mean that estate lots can be set up in any area of Perth County that has village designation?
Through the warden, to respond to the question, I can't answer for all of Perth County. This is the application that I'm reviewing and commenting on. With respect to all applications and development in Perth County, that's beyond the scope of what I've got the ability to answer at this time.
Okay. Thank you. Councillor McDermott?
Yeah, I just asked that in reports like these, like that home map, if you could put it in what we get, it's just easier to know what we're talking about.
Through the warden, we can make that change just to include that additional mappage.
Yep, be appreciated.
Councillor Higgins?
Through Warden Kellum, I too am very disappointed that we're going to have estate lots in Trowbridge. I get we're rounding out the area, but this council took the stand. I thought that we wanted density, and this does not meet that criteria at all. We're also in Perth East, we push that everybody needs to be on our water systems and septic, and here we're going to punch 16 wells into the ground and septic as well. And I didn't think that this council was going to do that. Unfortunately, if planning says yes and we say no, it's going to cost us a lot of money because we have to hire another planner because I'm sure it will get appealed. But at one time you had more than 5 wells. The government said you had to go on a municipal system. They changed that. So that allows for something like this to happen. But I'm hoping it never happens again. It probably will. As Bob made the point, it's, anywhere in Perth County now, people could step forward and try to do this in other communities. And I'm sure the Stephenville people are listening very intently to this because they have caused an awful lot of issues in Perth South and Perth East. So.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else? Deputy Warden Trentowski?
Thanks, Warden Kellum. Thanks for the report, Nathan. I guess my questions were more centered on the comments from BM Ross. They had concerns about the cross section of the roadway, and I guess where the back slope of ditches were in relation to property lines. Are these problems, or are these issues that are easily solvable, or what degree of complexity we're looking at here in terms of dealing with these technical issues?
Through the warden, part of the comments, and I'll just reiterate them for the rest of the council, is that there was some concerns with the type of road profile proposed. So this is more of a rural cross section where it's just a paved area with side ditches as opposed to curb and gutter and sidewalks, which we'd normally see in like a more urban type of cross section. So Trowbridge has no sidewalks through there. It's not really a walking community per se, so it's more of a rural type development. They have made it very clear that this is not the expectation that they would see in the future for other subdivisions. So this is very much the exception to the rule as opposed to the proposed rule. We're adding curb and gutters, for instance. They do have it in their site plan design guidelines, but adding curb and gutters, for instance, this would be the only street in all of Trowbridge that has a, for instance, curb and gutter or sidewalk. So going to that type of approach would provide that additional, I'll say, responsibility and expectation to manage that and do that. So that's not really the type of design that we'd see in all the rest of the Trowbridge for the other 3 streets that are there. So they are concerned about that. They have provided that comment, so they don't want to see that come forward in other applications for just that rural cross section moving forward. So it can be addressed through detailed design. There is enough room on the property to allocate things back and deal with some of the slide slopes and drainage issues, especially at the front. They want that included within the road profile and road allowance. But because it is a more, I'll say, rural cross section without the curb and gutter, they do require those drainage features to be located on the road allowance portion, and they do need the final design for that, which is fairly typical for a plan of subdivision.
Thank you. Further questions? Comes forward.
Just wondering, the low density residential, is there any way that we could force to have, when you plan your lot, that you have your sewage on that side, so you could have a secondary unit? Is there any provision for, not to try to increase the density?
Through the warden, they do have the ability to put 3 units on the lot already. So they do have that ability within just through the provincial guidelines to put up to 3 units on there. That is a septic criteria. So right now they provided it conservatively based on conventional systems. So a conventional system is where that operation of the septic system isn't required, like a tertiary type system where you have to have an agreement in place for 7 years, then continuously renew it. This is a conventional system where it goes into a tank and it's dispersed through a normal underground leaching bed, for instance, for this. So the hydrogeologist has provided that guidance on the minimum lot size for a conventional system to be located there. They might have the opportunity that they might decide to put like a multi-unit, like a duplex in there or a semi in there or something to that effect. We would have to look at it from a severance option if that's the major concern, because there is setbacks from the lot lines for septic systems and things like that. So that might be the only concern for intensifying it too much beyond the lots being considered.
Thank you. Councillor McKenzie.
I guess at the risk of the honor of being run out of town on rails, I do tend to agree with some of the comments that have been made here this morning with regards to density. And I'm not sure if I'm asking the question to you or to Mr. Patterson, but anyways, is the opportunity here that we cannot ask for higher density? They've come with this planned subdivision. If we feel strong enough about it, can we not ask that they go back and negotiate for a higher density?
Through the warden, and I might ask Mr. Patterson to comment as well on this. It would require a lot reconfiguration, and it would require the hydrogeologist to go out there and provide additional, I'll say, assessment of that capacity limit. It does push the wells and things like additional wells and things like that too. So it does look at some of those things. If it went municipal, there is some source water protection discussion to be had. So if Mr. Patterson, I may ask if it's okay with council to ask him to come step forward to add additional comments to that. If there wasn't a push for density, it would require a reconfiguration of lots.
Just supplementary, because you made the comment about when they designed the septic system that my understanding is there's room to put another 2 units in there.
through the warden, that would be very much up to the septic designer. So if they went for, say, a higher capacity type of septic system, like a tertiary treatment, which is more involved, they might be able to do a smaller bed system and add a second bed or add a different type of bed. Through the warden, it very much is based on, I'll say, building code, like number of bedroom units, number of fixtures in the type of unit, looking at that septic design for the rear yard. I mean, if you put a 4-bedroom, 5-bathroom house there, for instance, versus a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house, those are different types of scenarios through there. So that's why they look at the septic design side of things.
Thank you. Scott, would you like to come forward to address anything?
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity this morning. So as Nathan had noted, this is what I'll call the last subdivision in Trowbridge. These lands were historically identified as part of the Trowbridge settlement area. So yes, this is at a lesser density than what you would normally see. And that is based solely on the results of the hydrogeological study, the geotechnical report, and the nitrate study to look at the septics and the wells. So each of the lot does have to contain a well and a septic. Could there be additional density on site? I think the only way you could get additional density on this property is through the addition of additional residential units potentially. I don't foresee the option for semi-detached or duplexes or anything like that. All you would get potentially is a house with a detached residential unit above a garage and a coach house or something, or potentially as an apartment in a basement or an upper story in the house that's proposed. So these are single detached currently proposed to match the rest of Trowbridge. And again, this is simply a rounding out of the last available land within Trowbridge. I'll speak to the comment that was previously raised about whether this could happen across Perth County. Potentially, yes. If there's lands within a settlement boundary identified for growth, the provincial policy statement would say, or planning statement would say, the lands within a settlement boundary should be used. And then we go through the hierarchy of full services, communal services, or private services. In this instance, private services was the only option. I don't think it's viable economically or reasonable to extend services to Trowbridge. So while this is a little bit of a one-off situation, this is what's appropriate, in my opinion, for Trowbridge and what you would see normally as a rounding out and the last development land available within the settlement boundary. So with that being said, hopefully that answers the question. I don't foresee that County Council will see a lot of these types of developments coming forward. I'm not aware of the one in Perth South because I wasn't involved in that, but this is one of the only ones that I've seen coming forward in North Perth.
Thank you for your comments. Further questions? Thank you. I have one more time. Go
Could I
ahead.
have a recorded vote, please?
Yeah.
So we're going to split it out into two resolutions. Do you want to record a vote for both of them or just for the second one?
So through the warden, the first one's just going to be to receive the report.
Okay.
And then for the second one,
Okay, sounds good. So the first resolution is that council receives the application draft plan subdivision by Mania Dairy Limited, NP 2302 report. Moved by Councillor McDermott, second by Councillor Duncan. All those in favor? And that is carried. Second resolution will be recorded vote is that council approves the application for draft subdivision submitted by Patterson Planning Consultants Inc. on behalf of Bimania Dairy Limited for lands described as Part Lot 6, Concession 3, Elma Ward of the Municipality of North Perth. Moved by Councillor Duncan, second by Councillor McDermott. Now we'll do the vote.
so through the warden, as I call your name, please provide a yea or nay. If you're in favor or if you're opposed. Councillor Agates. Councillor Duncan,
Yes.
Councillor McDermott,
Yes.
Councillor McKenzie,
Yay.
Councillor Wilhelm,
No.
Councillor Kasenberg,
Yes.
Councillor Orr,
Yes.
Deputy Warden Trinkowski,
No.
Warden Kellum.
Yes.
So that passes on a recorded vote.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Moving on to our agenda, 8.2, economic development and tourism. Really, the whole team's coming up. Just two, okay. All right. Shannon. Morning, Justin and Ricky.
Great. Through the warden, I'm happy to be here, joining County Council this morning, along with my colleague Ricky Zhao, our tourism officer, as well as Shannon Landreth, who's been working with us as economic development officer on contract over the summer, while we filled the maternity leave of Maggie Kerr, who has since announced her taking position in Waterloo region. So we wish Maggie well, and that recruitment process is ongoing. So happy to be joined by them. So first slide, please. So this report highlights activities of our team since the last council report and roughly aligned with the period over the summer. It's supporting our strategic priority areas of business retention, expansion, and attraction, people and workforce development, destination development, and marketing. So in terms of our business retention, expansion, and attraction, one of the highlights I'd like to mention within the report is our Planted in Perth County Business Features program. So these features share the stories of behind our Perth County businesses, and we launched over 30 of these over the summertime and have developed over 67 to date. They've been very well received, receiving lots of shares and likes over social media, and really shine the spotlight on some of the stories behind our valuable Perth County businesses. We also held 2 events over the summer to bring the business community together, share information, promote collaboration, and provide resources. So one was our Rooted in Success agribusiness mixer and our small business sports lunch and learn. So at these 2 events, we had over 83 businesses attend, and along with a number of businesses who had attended our events for the first time. So both very well received, lots of feedback received about support for those events, and in particular from the small business lunch and learn. Spoke with a number of businesses that were going to be applying for the Rural Ontario Development Program based on the information they received at our seminars. So 2 very well received events. A couple other things that was over the summer. We had 3 business tours, Animaze, Camp Creek Ferries, and Blissful Country Inn, and also have 3 more that we have confirmed will be sending invitations out to County Council shortly to hopefully you can join us on those. And then lastly, on the investment attraction, business attraction side, we developed 4 regional sector profiles in partnership with Invest Stratford, and these help to support our investment attraction efforts and are a resource when new businesses look to look. In terms of people and workforce development, we launched our People in Perth County series. So this is kind of a sister program to our Planted in Perth County series. And the goal of this is to highlight youth, young entrepreneurs, young professionals who have built their life, career, or business in Perth County. So we've launched 6 of those to date, and they really support our youth engagement efforts, along with things like our high school engagement to really showcase the viability of, again, raising a family, starting a business, or building your career here in Perth County. As well on the youth engagement and retention side. So lastly, I'd like to mention the summer company programs. This through Perth County support, 2 additional Perth County businesses were started by student entrepreneurs over the summer. So 4 Perth County businesses overall were started over the summer, and yeah, they were very well received, and hope great to see students pursuing entrepreneurship as a career option. And then maybe just finally on the workforce development side, one of the events we hosted over the summer was also an employer roundtable. This we did in partnership with MP John Nader's office, and we invited a number of local employers from across county, across sectors, to provide input on issues related to immigration in the workforce, what they're hearing, any challenges they may have, opportunities, and adjustments to existing programs for credential recognition and other workforce development programs to help support them in their recruitment and hiring to fill their workforce needs. So with that, I'll pass it over to Ricky to speak a bit about tourism.
Perfect. Next slide, please. Thank you. So through the award, I'm excited to share Perth County's has been making waves in destination development and marketing, and how our efforts are being put us on firmly on the map. So let's start with media and advertisement. We've been everywhere this year, from Stratford from Stratford Festival Visitors Guide to Globe and Mail, which reaches audience of more than 1 million readers. Add that to the community guides in Millbank, North Perth, West Perth, plus visibility on-ramp plazas across Ontario. It's clear that visitors are seeing Perth County at every stage in their travel journey. We've also tried something new this summer with influencer marketing. We've partnered with Sam Weaver, a new Perth County resident, better known as on Instagram at the BB Cabin, with over 11,000 followers and over 350 million monthly views. She's brought a fresh local voice to her storytelling. She showcases everything from berry picking, farmers markets to conservation areas and museums. Because Sam now calls Perth County home, her message was authentic. She wasn't just visiting, she was showing her audience why she chose to live here and made her promotion even more powerful. Now to our tourism brochure. Yes, we've all seen it. The tourism brochure got a full refresh this year, but more importantly, it's now in the world in a big way. We distributed over 67,000 brochures along with thousands of farm gate, cycle, and terrorway maps. They've been placed in local businesses, tourism hotspots, and regional visitor centers. Our refreshed brochures is actively in visitors' hands, guiding them through Perth County and engaging them to explore more. Meanwhile, the Signature Experiences program continues to help us turn great local offerings to curated high-quality visitor experiences through training, media support, and advertisements so businesses can shine. We've also invested in updating photo and video content, capturing parts of Perth County not previously featured, while also refreshing existing visuals. This allows us to showcase the county at its best and create modern, up-to-date promotional materials for digital and campaign and future prints. Speaking of visuals, our photo frames and custom installations are now sprinkled across Perth County, from animes to wildwood conservation area. These installations create organic Instagram-worthy, share-worthy moments that visitors love, including a new Corey Connor sign at the Liswell Golf Club. Agritourism remains a big draw. Our farm gate map now features over 80 local operators, and we've also expanded it to include a farm stand project in partnerships with local students. These stands not only provide small producers with professional ways to sell their goods, but they also incorporate artworks that reflect Perth County's character. Each stand is designed to do more than just showcase local food. It encourages visitors to engage with other activities in the area while they are in. For business owners, these stands have become an additional marketing tool, helping to connect customers with the wider Perth County experience. We've also launched the Perth County Champion program. This initiative has been especially helpful in building local pride, strengthening community engagement by providing champion t-shirts to participants, staff and council. We've created a visible network of ambassadors to help share and promote Perth County story wherever they go. And finally, on the digital side, revamped tourism web pages are now easier to navigate, but they are optimized for a search engine. This year, our tourism page views jumped over 53% to that's thousands of more people discovering what Perth County has to offer. So in short, Perth County is telling a bigger, bolder story than ever before, blending tradition with innovation, brochures, farm stands on one hand, influencers and SEOs on the other. And the results are clear: stronger visibility, better experiences, and real momentum for our businesses. With that being said, I'll pass it back to Justin. Thank you.
Yeah, so just to conclude, I'd just like to highlight 3 upcoming events that Perth County is delivering or partnering with. So the first is the Stratford AI Summit on September 29th. This is a 9 to 3 affair at the Tom Patterson Theater, and the idea here is to go beyond simply introducing AI to businesses, but also to help them get a practical hands-on experience in how to use it for their business. So that again is a kind of 9 to 3 workshop on September 29th. Through our partnership and sponsorship, we did make some seats available complimentary to our Perth County businesses who registered. So I believe there may or may not be a few left, but we'd always be happy to wait list any businesses who are interested in case tickets do become available to take part in that full day of learning. The second event is a lunch and learn that we're preparing for October 30th. This one we're entitling Preparing for Crisis. The idea here is to help businesses think about things that are things that maybe they haven't thought about that could affect their business. We've obviously had a few experiences with this recently about sudden shocks, but the idea is to think about what other things businesses should be thinking about and preparing for as part of their preparation. So we will have our emergency management coordinator who will be there, as well as a few other financial and insurance experts speaking on the topic. And then lastly, on November 26th, lunch and learn on brand storytelling. So what it is and why it's important to a business. So I just wanted to put a highlight or plug those upcoming events. And I think that rounds out our presentations. So with that, happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Justin and Ricky. Colleagues, questions or comments for them at this time? Councilor Orr.
Just for the lunch and learn for the crisis one, is that available by Zoom?
Pardon me?
Is the lunch and learn for the crisis, is that available by Zoom?
Through the word, we weren't intending for it to be offered by Zoom. It is the luncheons are quite small, and the idea is to be able to ask questions. And but it is definitely something we can think about offering, if not by Zoom, perhaps recording it, making it available after the fact. Yes, we haven't considered that be an option, but it could be something.
I also wanted to comment too that we all got a T-shirt about Perth County, so we wore them at AMO. So we did get some questions on Perth County. And I think your marketing is also working because I believe my son and his wife are in your Explore magazine, and they definitely get questions on date night. So something's working, so thank you.
Great comments. Thank you, Councilor Orr. Anyone else? Okay, we'll start with Deputy Warden Trentowski.
Yeah, thanks, Warden Cullen, through you. Thanks for your report. And to tie into Councilor Orr's comments, my appreciation to both you and Meredith and the rest of the staff. You can really see the growth and the different programming that you're offering. It's really raising the profiles of local businesses, and the events that I have attended related to your programming, you really sense the value that whether it's Summer Company or Lunch and Learn or the roadside vendors through the Discover More Flavor program, and with the display setups that were made at the high schools. The bottom line is everyone's gaining great value from the programming that you're doing, just based on the feedback that I received when talking to the participants and the public in general. So great job. Thank you.
Thank you for those comments. Councilor Eggetts.
Through you, Warden Kellum, yes, thank you for all you do and all the economic development you bring to Perth County. You've certainly put us on the map. The business tours, I very much enjoy business tours, going to the different businesses and see how they operate. My apologies for not bringing this forward sooner, but right now the business tours are offered to the county councillors, and they're also offered only to the municipality where that business is. And I've been asked by some other councillors why it can't be opened up to all of the lower tier council members as well. We're always wanting our council members to come. It's a great opportunity for them to learn. And if they know somebody in their community that wants a business, they can recommend someplace they've been or bring them to the economic development team and work that through that way. So I'm wondering if there's a way they can be opened up to all the councillors when we have one. I think it would be beneficial for all of us. So yeah, I guess that's my question too. Something for them to think about and see if that's possible.
Yeah, so through the word, and I think, absolutely, some places are limited in the number.
I realize
that. So that might be one of the reasons why we haven't opened it in bar, but absolutely, we love to fill the tours up. And I think the businesses also benefit from having more people attend when they're able to accommodate. So we'll absolutely make the invitation broader when possible to include as many people as we can.
Thank you. Anyone else? See none, a resolution that reads that council receives the Economic Development and Tourism September 2025 update report for information. Moved by Councillor Wilhelm, second by Councillor Agates. All those in favor? And that is carried. Thank you very much, you and your team. Moving on our agenda, 8.3, Corporate Services, 8.3.1, the July 2025 Forestry Inspector's Report. Tyler?
Perfect, thank you. So through the warrant before council is the July 2025 Forestry Inspector's Report prepared by Marvin Smith, the Perth County Forestry Inspector. In the month of July, Marvin completed 4 inspections in response to the submission of notice of intent or NOI, and 1 inspection in response to a request from the landowner. If there's any questions, concerns, or inquiries, I'd be happy to pass those along.
Thank you. Questions or comments for Tyler? Councillor Orr?
Just wondering, if we will ever get a report on how many times, we're going to court. It might have to be a closed session, report, but I'm wondering if he could have that come to us once a year.
So through the warden, yes, absolutely, we'll do that.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none, a motion that reads that council receives the July 2025 Forestry Inspector's Report for information. Moved by Councillor Kasenberg and second by Councillor McKenzie. All those in favor? That is carried. Thank you. 8.3.2, 2026 council meeting schedule.
Perfect. Through the warden before council is the 2026 council meeting schedule. So this is laid out, the schedule is done by the county's procedure bylaw 3736/2020. And it highlights all the meeting dates there for January, the 2nd, 4th Thursday, and then February through June, 1st and 3rd Thursday, with July and September having the 1st Thursday of the month, and October, December going back to the 1st and 3rd. So within the report, there's the highlighted dates that are proposed for the 2026 year, indicating for the months of July, August, and September, the summer schedule, with the December 3rd meeting be the warden's election. Also for councilors' information is the list of the conferences that are most likely to be attended by council members, and their dates are located there as well for each respective conference. One thing to note is just in 2025, we did amend the proposed schedule for 2025, hence why we are sitting here today, today's meeting, having the 2nd meeting in September. So the recommendation in front of council is to receive it and approve the 2026 council meeting schedule as presented. Again, just for note, at any point in time, the warden clerk CEO can have a conversation about hosting or having another meeting at any point. So just for councilors' information, but the report is before you. Happy for any questions.
Thank you. Questions or comments? Councillor McKenzie?
On your list here of conferences, Tyler, I'm almost certain that some from around this table do attend. Is the Good Roads. Is the last few years it's been in April, I do believe, but I'm not sure. Second one? Oh, it is there, sorry. Take my glasses off and I can see it.
That's the end of March, 29th to April 1st. It's the proposed date for Good Roads.
I have Councillor Agates first.
Through your warden, Kellum, last year we did add that 2nd meeting in September, and I think that we need to do that again. And I'd also like to see the procedural bylaw changed so that we have 2 meetings in September. To me, it's easier to cancel one if we don't need it as try to add it, because we all have pretty busy schedules. I don't keep Thursdays as a rule open because we may have a county council meeting. So I think this year we used it. We went on a road tour the first meeting, and now we're here again today. So if we don't need it, to me, it's a whole lot easier to cancel. So when you go to make the motion, I'd like to make an alternate decision.
Councillor Kasenberg?
And further to Councillor Agates' comments, September 3rd is a Thursday. This one's going to be ahead of Labor Day. And that may have some implications of attendance, I would think. So we may want to think about whether the September 3rd specifically is the right date for the first meeting in September, given the possibilities that some of us may still be thinking about vacationing with families at that point.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else? So. Like,
So I would like to move that in 2026, we have two council meetings in the month of September. I don't know if you want to separately bring the procedural bylaw back, or you want it on the same month.
So through the warden, what we can do is we can receive the report and then the council approves the 2026 meeting schedule as amended to include the second meeting in September. And then as for the procedure bylaw, it's part of standard course that we would review that once per term anyways. So it's something that we can look into in 2026 to bring forward for the new council. I think would be appropriate.
That's fine, as long as it gets done.
Okay. Yeah, that's something that we would look for with the new council term.
sounds good. So the first resolution would be that council receives the 2026 county council meeting schedule. By Councillor Wilhelm, second by Councillor McDermott. All those in favor?
Can I just clarify, are we going to move it to the 10th or no? Leaving it as is? Okay.
That'll be the next.
Okay, sorry.
Yes.
This
So,
is for information, that's why I just didn't agree with it.
so through the warden, we have received the report and then the amended, we'll do the amendment with it to include the second meeting. And then as for adjusting, if we need to, that first September meeting, by all means, we can make that change as we kind of move closer to September 26th. Okay,
So to be clear, the motion on the floor is as correct right now.
with
Report?
the amendment. Yeah, we're going to do both together. So
Okay.
with the report and then the amendment, we can do it
Okay.
all as one. Yeah,
All this one, so I have to repeat it.
please.
Thank you. That's okay, no worries. That council receives the 2026 council meeting schedule report, and that council approves the 2026 council meeting schedule as amended to include the second meeting in September. So we have a mover, Councillor Duncan, and a seconder, Councillor Wilhelm. All those in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. Now we're clear. 8.3.3, corporate services, and I believe Marion's coming up.
Okay, so through the warrant, so this will be my last corporate services update as acting executive director. I'm happy to pass the torch on to Stefan. This report is more of a catch-up, so it contains information on the activities performed in corporate services over the months of July and August. Of note, I wanted to highlight that we welcome Courtney Owen as our assistant prosecutor. Courtney brings years of experience in the court systems, and we're thrilled to have her join us. As well, we're also welcoming Madison Dix as our archives co-op student for the months of September and October. What's forthcoming is on September 29th, the Stratford Public Library staff will visit the archives and they will complete a building tour and information session. This is to help inform them and to inform the community about services that archives promotes and how we can better serve individuals in the community and help promote the services. Outside of that, I'll take the report as read, but if there's any questions, happy to respond.
Thank you, Marion. Questions or comments are at this time? Councillor Orr?
Just regard to the forestry, I'm just hoping that we can set dates for the lower tier roadshow and open house and public meetings sooner than later.
No, but, okay, thank you. Deputy Warden Trinkowski?
Through you, Warden Kellum, yeah, I had a similar question to Councillor Orr, so thanks to Councillor Orr for bringing that up. And just wanted to express thanks and appreciation to Marion for taking on the acting executive director role. Thank you.
Thank you for those comments. Councillor Eggetts?
When will, just further, or through Warden Kellum, further to Sue's, when will that date come out? Because like we're already booking in November for Christmas gatherings and different things, and when the date comes out, is it flexible in case some of us have those functions now, or what date are you kind of looking at?
Yeah, so through the warden with response to both Councillor Eggetts and Councillor Orr's question, staff have met and we're putting together some of the information and seeing what the scope will look like. Ideally, we'd like to go to the lower tier municipalities as soon as we possibly can to provide information before we move forward with the public meeting and open house. So something that we're looking at, we need to have a further discussion. I know that Steph's on board as well, kind of getting caught up to speed, and then we can move forward with a date. Ideally, we'd be flexible with whatever date that we put forward to accommodate, and then able to promote as well. So nothing set in stone right now, but there's further discussions. We recently just met to kind of suss out where we can kind of put the meetings.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Through the warden, so for council, we will make sure you have dates by the end of next week. We'll communicate by the end of next week.
Okay. Good. Anyone else? See none. Resolution that council receives the corporate services update for July and August report for information by Councillor McKenzie, second by Councillor McDermott. All those in favor? And that is carried. Thank you again, Marion, for stepping in. And on our agenda, 9.1, it's the warden's activity report. Does anyone have any questions where I was last month? Seeing none, just one thing to mention that on Thursday, August 7th, Joint Accessibility Advisory Committee, Chair Michael Doan and I presented a recognition service plaque to former GAAC Chair Dennis Mannery. Dennis was involved in the GAAC for over 15 years and was a valuable accessibility advocate to the community and the county as a whole. On behalf of council, I want to thank Dennis for his service. When he was there, he was very happy that we presented with that award. So that being said, resolution that council receives the warden's activity report, August 25th. Report for information, moved by Councillor Wilhelm, second by Councillor Duncan. All those in favor? And that is carried. There are no bylaws at this time. Does any council wish to give notice of motion at this time? Seeing none. Other business. Moving on to announcements. We have an OP update. I believe Andrea is coming up for that. Morning, Andrea.
Good morning. Thank you. It's my privilege and my pleasure to share with all of you, which I'm sure you've all heard by now, that our OP was given minister approval as of September 12th, which means that the the new official plan is now in effect. The former official plan, as well as the 3 lower tier official plans, so that's the Listowel, Milverton, and Mitchell official plans, have now all been repealed. We were given with the minister approval, we were given a list of 79 modifications. I believe you've all received them, but we are working to provide a fact sheet to the public that will be available in the coming weeks on our webpage. We also will be attending each of your councils to share with them, kind of introduce the new official plan as well as share the modifications. Those modifications, just as a reminder, have come from the minister and they have changed the official plan that was approved by council back in October of 2024. Generally speaking, the modifications are fairly minor. If you recall, the new provincial planning statement came into effect shortly after, I think it was only a few days after council approved the new official plan. So there were a few conformity terminology type modifications that were provided to us, which we were completely satisfied with. There were a couple of modifications actually that we sent to the province that we had noticed in terms of conformity. So we worked together over the past almost year to make sure that everything was the way we wanted it. And then also there are a number of schedules changed in terms of mapping. You'll notice that the natural heritage is an overlay in rural areas as opposed to the designation, which you would have originally approved. And it's a designation in the settlement areas. And so the same policies apply that you would have seen back in October of 2024. But they've asked us to change it to an overlay from a designation.
Excuse me, what does that mean?
Yeah, so sorry, through the warden to Councillor Agnett's question. So basically what it means is when you So if you're looking on the GIS mapping, typically you would see white for if it's cultural designation, and then you would see green if it's a natural heritage designation. In this case, in the agricultural areas, so basically anything outside of our settlement areas, you won't see that. It'll just show up as all agricultural. But there is a separate schedule that'll show the overlay. So it'll show all the natural heritage mapping. Kind of so that basically the idea was that it's to allow the agricultural community to understand that it can be business as usual and that natural heritage feature is not going to prevent them from their normal farm practices. So the policies remain the same, like I said, and then within the settlement areas, we did ask that it remain a designation because we thought it would be very challenging to remove a natural heritage designation on, say, an industrially designated property. And then there'd be that misunderstanding that I purchased this property, it's industrial, when really it has a woodlot on it and it has limitations in terms of development. So we did ask that they keep it that way, and they did agree that that was probably the best approach. So other than that, I would say that the modifications, we were fairly comfortable with all of them. We are working also to integrate them all into the official plan document that we were working on. And that will also be made available to the public in the coming weeks. It'll all be on our website. And then our GIS department has been working also to update all the mapping so that you can view it publicly as well. So I think that's all the information that I can give you for now. We are working on a comparator table so that you can see it, all those changes. If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you. Any questions for Councilor McDermott?
If somebody goes on the maps, like for farms, will they be told that there's all these other overlays? Like if you go to just the main map, the first map, will it tell everybody that there's other overlays that they should go to make sure that they understand the whole picture?
Through the warden, we will work, that's a great idea. We'll work to make sure that it's very clear that that there is that overlay. It will likely appear as another layer on the mapping that you could click on and off. So we will make sure that people are aware. I think communications is the expert in that, but sometimes we do. And I don't want to commit Sarah to anything, but we could do like splash screens that kind of say, make sure that you put your natural heritage designation on or sorry, the overlay. The other thing too is we always advise people to reach out to the planner for the municipality to double check to be sure.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Go ahead.
Through the warden, I just wanted to extend appreciation to Andrea and her team for the hard work in bringing that forward and finally tying off the end of it. It's been a long time in the works. And so we're quite pleased that we finally got approval, and you should see a declining in the need for OPAs coming forward. So we're quite pleased with that. So thank you to staff for all that hard work and the associated staff from other divisions as well that help.
Good. Thanks, Laura. Yes, very exciting news for all of us, and we're around the table. So happy that it's come to fruition. So again, thank you very much.
And thank you to council for all your support, and also the lower tier staff that all supported us as well. So it's a big job with many hands that made life work.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to our agenda. Yes, we do have a closed session. Resolution that reads that council moves into closed session at approximately 9:59 a.m. in accordance with section 239 of the Municipal Act SO 2001 C25 as amended to consider a matter pertaining to identifiable individual information supplied in confidence. Moved by Councilor McDermott, second by Councilor Wilhelm. All those in favor? That is carried. Okay, we're now live back in county council. Item number 15 on our agenda, 15.1, which is a confirmatory bylaw. Resolution that reads that bylaw number 4043-2025 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council of the corporation of the county of Perth at its regular meeting held September 18th, 2025 is read a first, second, and third time, and finally passed September 18th, 2025. Moved by Councilor McDermott, second by Councilor Agates. All those in favor? And that is carried. And finally, the adjournment. Council meeting is adjourned at approximately 10:09 a.m. Moved by Councilor Wilhelms, second by Councilor Duncan. All those in favor? And that is carried. Have a good rest of your time.